Hey guys, it's your girl, the Duchess. And I mean, honestly, if you're not already on Anchor, what are you doing with your life? This is the new wave, and this is where your podcast could be. It's easy, it's simple, it's on the go. Record your audio and reach the masses. There might be somebody driving on a road trip that needs to hear you right now. Get on Anchor right now. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It's the best podcast, best way to go. Right now. Like, right now.
Oh
Two.
shit. I'm so done. I feel like a bad friend now. I know how
No,
you feel.
no, because you know what? If I once I say it, it has to be authentic. So it has to be
But
real.
the thing is, we do talk about this by ourselves. That's why I was like, it's like weird now because I'm like, wait, do I talk about it or do I wait till we're recorded to talk about it?
Right. That's why it has to be authentic. It has to be real. It has to be right now on the spot. They're gonna get my stuffy
um,
nose and all.
I mean, you've been healing. What if other people need to hear? Like, it's okay to get sick. Like, you just need to slow down and take care of yourself. Like, it happens to everybody.
Right.
You know.
I'm ascension fluing.
You are ascension fluid. Are we recording? We
Yeah.
I know we are. I felt the energy shift.
I'm
You are ascension
ascension
fluid.
fluing.
Welcome to the ascension fluing edition.
Oh man.
We're,
So
we're drinking tea.
the meme in question is healers.
Mm.
Please do your shadow work so you can move out of this paradigm of creating codependent relationships and cords with clients and instead empower their sovereignty and free will, which is different from what I read. Let's talk about my comprehension skills in a second.
Done. I'm done. Okay, yeah. Well, so sometimes that's on purpose, though. Let's not
Right.
just go straight to your comprehension. Like, sometimes you see stuff differently on purpose because that's what you need to see or whatever, you know?
Right. So that's
Okay.
definitely a double topic right there.
Okay, so hold on. So let's, and I think it goes perfectly with what I was kind of touching on right before we got on air. So like, okay, let's. Can we shout out the meme though? You know me. I'm like, we need to shout out everybody and their work. Give them credit where it's due.
I need
We're
to
big.
start putting these memes as the cover.
Yeah, we really do. So I'm gonna shout it out. This is Miriam Hasana. We're big fans of Miriam over here. She has New Earth Mystery School. Y'all can Google New Earth Mystery School if you're interested in her work. And this is a tweet that she tweeted, like a meme that we're talking about. Okay, so what parts do you want to hit first, Duchess?
Okay, so if we're gonna stick to the context first,
Yeah.
it does.
And then we'll go wherever we go.
Yeah, because you had a good point about the restoring, how healers should restore, and then
Yeah.
I noticed an influx of healers that are really expressing from their shadow side. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, that's a beautiful way to put it. On the internet.
On the
Like
internet.
on YouTube, on Instagram, like on the site, on the web.
Right. So we'll get into that. But the actual meme, what I'm noticing that is saying now is that you create a codependent relationships with these clients instead of empowering them.
Yes, because think about these healers, these people you're seeing on the internet, you're turned off by it because that's not what you're into. That's not what your vibration is attuned to. That's not how you do healing work or work with your clients. But other people who are maybe potential clients, like, whatever they are, there are people, those people are still getting views, right? Like, I didn't see what you saw, so, like, they're still getting views, right?
Yeah, so it looks like what they're the type of readers that keep you coming back with your
Yeah,
clients. But and even
yeah.
with this is more like I would say the paying clients. Like you're creating a relationship and chords instead of like you know how we're big on letting everybody know that they're powerful too. Everybody's gifted. So I guess there's an influx of healers that are like making sure that the person has to come back to them for power or for empowerment.
Yeah, yeah. Like the power doesn't come from the person, the client. Like, right, the power comes from the healer, is what you're saying, right? Like
Right.
that.
And I think
Yeah.
that's the issue in a lot of religions where
Yeah.
the message is getting missed
Sorry.
because of that. Where it's like you're so caught up on going back, like you have to feed off of this one person where instead of them telling you that you all have that empowerment. You all can be a healer. Everyone is gifted. We all have intuition. It's just a matter of remembering and tapping in and tuning in.
Yes, yes, and just practicing. It's like anything else. It's a skill that you cultivate. It's not just, and yes, people can, I think we need to be real with people who are listeners. Like, yes, like people have different gifts, different skills, but it's just a matter of you figuring out what yours is. And it's not about comparison, right? It's about you figuring out what you got, because what you got is perfect for you, and whatever your mission is, whatever your sole purpose is, what you have everything that you need for what you need to accomplish in this life.
Right.
So I don't know why I felt that. So, so it's like you figuring that out for yourself. And yeah, like when you look around, I just felt like someone like, well, that person can do this and I can't do that. Okay, but you could probably do a lot of other stuff.
Exactly.
And and maybe you haven't cultivated that skill, and that's why you're attracted to a lot of people who have that specific skill, like maybe like channeling. Like that's a big one, right? A lot of people channel all the time and don't even realize they're channeling because it's so integrated into their lives. Right? So I don't know why. I'm speaking to someone who's listening because I felt that. It came over me.
Yeah, because it's the more you try to tap in and remember, and the more you do these things and connect, the more powerful your empowerment comes in, however it looks like for you. And there's no such, there is definitely a such thing as a healer who needs healing, especially because we all have it in us to be healers. Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with feeling like you have to do shadow work. You know what I mean? In this meme, because, anybody could read this and it say, please do your shadow work. And they'll probably be like, I'm already a healer. I've already been doing this for years. That's okay too. But we all are going to have to keep doing it in different times, in different ways. Don't ever feel like as a healer, you can't admit that you have a shadow. We all have a shadow. Don't feel like you can't say you're still working on that part. That's why it's like different strokes for different folks. You work on your strong point.
Yeah, I love that, because you're basically saying but that's the real, over here, that's what I think. Like this, I'm speaking from my definition. You discern your definition, listeners, Duchess Lee, but I know me and you align on a lot of things. So it's like, but that's what a real, to me, teacher, healer is someone that acknowledges that they're still healing too. So the work. So this is what I would say. We're always, but there are things we have healed, and the stuff that we've already healed is the stuff that we should be working on with people. We shouldn't, as healers, be working with people on stuff we're still learning and healing. That doesn't make sense to me.
Go for your strong points.
Yeah, like you're saying, go for your strong points. Go for where I've done a lot of work in this. I'm already kind of, really experiencing this. I'm in a higher levels of learning, but I can help people on this other area of learning, maybe a entry level point or something. I don't know, like an entry access point of that lesson, because we know all lessons spiral and get higher and higher and deeper. So, but just be real, it just doesn't make sense. And I feel like what you're saying is on the internet, I want to know too, Duchess, what was the thing that you were thinking about, before? You were saying, what have you been coming across on the internet? I feel like you should speak to that, because I want to know. We didn't really talk about that.
It's a lot of angry readers. A lot of angry readers triggering you to worry more, I feel like. If I was in a different place, I wouldn't feel good listening to those horoscopes. I would be feeling like everyone's against me. Somebody's talking about me. Somebody's cheating on me. Granted, I had to sit with it for a few days, because I'm that could be just that I'm used to positive readings, or even if it's a negative situations, I feel like my readings come off in a way so that you understand it in a different light. Or at least that's what I pride myself on. You know what I mean? That's the goal.
I agree. Just from working with you, everything I've seen you do, I feel like that's exactly what you do very naturally.
Right. And I could imagine people would say, I want the real stuff. I get people that are going to be like, you're not going to tell me nothing scary, or they're going to be like, you're going to tell me the truth, right? You'll always get the truth. But I just feel like the readers online right now that I've been coming across, not all of them, they have shadow work to do, because they're still entertaining that energy.
Okay, so what I'm getting is from what you're saying is the readers that you're catching, okay, let's just point out that if you have anger and need to work on anger, I have a lot of anger stuff. I know people with anger stuff. That's totally normal, But anger actually is a mask for fear when you really get it, like the emotional work of it.
Right.
So it's a lot of like fear energy getting spread through like the mask of anger energy, right? Like that emotion. Sorry, whoever's listening, we're getting really like meta with it, okay? So it's like there's a lot of fear and they're spreading fear. It's like instead of like helping people transmute the fear, it sounds like what I saw in my mind's eye was like people just passing fear back and forth between the YouTube videos.
Yeah, like that's not helpful for me. That's not gonna get me through a tough time listening to listening to them talking about somebody's wishing bad and there's somebody you don't know with an evil eye and they're hating on you. So what? That ain't my business. At this time, you know what I mean? Like, I like,
how does that help me?
Right? Like, it's things that is just not helpful. Like, and if it felt like it was something that needed to be said to a collective, then say it in a way that's helpful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you. You know what it sounds like? It sounds very other based, and the truth is we can't control others. So it's like, why would you be? Yeah, unless there's something unless I need to shift my relationship with others. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can't control other people. We only can control ourselves. So what are you supposed to do with all this information and a reading about all these other people?
Right.
What are you supposed to do with that?
So it just creates, like you said, fear. It creates a different kind of codependency because then these people are probably going back like, oh my God, I got to go back and see who else is hating on me, who else is talking about me. So that could be like a form of having that type of relationship with a client. But I do, remember seeing stuff before or when I was younger where they'll tell you, it's this much for a reading. And then you get the reading and then it'll be like, for $40 more, I'll give you the bath and this that goes with it. And then, granted, there's certain things that I would want prepared by, someone more experienced. But I've been to places where they'll tell you how to make it yourself. They'll tell you what you need. It's just your intentions because it is your intentions. And now that I know that, I'm even more hesitant of buying stuff from certain people because if, let's say, it's something as simple as a bath, that's herbs, Florida water, moon water, it's water. You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't you rather put your hands and your intentions on it than to go and have it from a third party that's packaging it or telling you that they specifically, you know what I mean, did this for you? Whereas you could do that the first time and then tell somebody what's in it.
Yeah, I feel you. And I think yes. I think, yes, it depends, right? Like, if it's a trusted teacher who actually serves your empowerment or something like that, or you feel like you're just getting started on the path, I could see, like, wanting other people who've been on the path and hold a different vibration, putting an intention in. But I feel like you're right. Like, that's the truth. Like, what you're saying is the truth, like, the truth. Like, no one's intentions for you are ever going to be stronger than the intentions you have for yourself.
Right. And it's always a chance to empower other people, to remind them that they can do it too, or that it's within them. Like, you say that all the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like, nobody does this for you. I didn't do this for you. You did that. Like, we're all just playing a remembering game.
Yeah, like, we help create the containers. Okay, this is a perfect segue, just so we can, because I don't feel like it's going to be a long conversation today. But, like, we hold the containers for the healing, right? Like, when you do your readings, when I do whatever energy work, like, readings too, like, whatever it is, like, whatever we do with people, with each other, when we hold space for each other, like, we're holding space for the other one to do their own healing work in a safe container, right? And I think that's what you just said. I don't know, I felt the need to repeat that. But to segue into, like, okay, your healing is only as powerful. Okay, going back to a conversation about the healers, your healing is only as powerful as the healing that you've experienced yourself. So, like, any healer, their healing is only as powerful as the healing they've actually done or experienced in their own life and embody in their own vibration.
Ooh.
So, like, these healers, You see what I mean? So the healers you're seeing online, you can definitely tell, like, no, their healing is not that great because their healing container for other people isn't that great because they haven't even done their own work.
Right, like they're still angry and aggressive and like not centered at all.
Yeah, and there's nothing to say, like, there's nothing wrong with anger. I don't want to say, like, I get what Lee's saying. Like, there's nothing wrong with anger, because you know, there's a place and a time for it. But I think what you're getting at and what you were feeling is the frequency of how they're transmitting that anger. Like, you can transmit anger from centered place or transmit from uncentered. And you found it very clear they're uncentered.
Yeah, like they're not giving helpful information. And granted, cards are cards, and now, you know, you don't have control of what cards come out, but you have control of the energy you're giving the message in.
Yeah. But, you know, yeah. So I think you're right. Like, it's different strokes for different folks. And I think, like, anybody listening to this, like, it's more like check in with yourself and see where you're at.
Right,
you know?
right. There's no wrong. There's just levels,
Yeah,
and you'll
like,
see how it is, because even the people that are, you know, doing that right now, somebody's listening to them. They got views right now, so I'm not knocking them. Somebody's in that space, but going back to the meme we were talking about of healers have to do their shadow work too.
Okay.
Right. The healers have to be, you know, conscious. And I always say, like, it's a spiritual responsibility where how you have to act at certain times. And, like, you can't be messy. You can't be messy with other people's lives. You have to treat that like you're a psychiatrist.
Dude, like, for real. Like, even though we're not licensed here and we only do energy work, disclaimer, it is the same thing. It literally is. And I mean, honestly, it's true, because I said this before in another area, but, like, the work that, oh my god, it came in and left. Oh my god, it came in and left. Oh, yeah, it came back. Okay. So like, when you lead other people down, like, a rabbit hole, not to the proper place, like into more darkness, just to be, like, super black and white with what I'm trying to say, you get in more trouble with the universal law, because you didn't only lead yourself down the wrong way, you led other people down the wrong way. So it really is what you're saying. That's just, like, it's a real responsibility. Like, that's why I said that. It's like, it really is, because when you're leading people, you need to make sure you're clear and you're doing it from the right place. And who's to say, like, these readers aren't going to grow and realize and learn, and maybe that's what they're going to do with their clients and heal the cords that they're creating, you know, whatever. But it's just very clear to see from where we're sitting. You can see it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's not helpful.
It's responsibility to tell people, like, be discerning. I feel like that was our last show. Be discerning about who you're going to.
Yep.
And it's the same thing.
Yep, and who you're listening to and the way the information is sitting. And if you know it's wrong, just say, all right, that doesn't resonate. Or I'm not going to choose to do that way. You know what I mean? Because then there's certain people that give advice, but that goes back to them doing their shadow work. And like you were saying earlier about healers having to restore themselves every now and then.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like, it's just like, I just feel like, yeah, you do. Like, it's that. And my biggest thing, and I think I said it, it was just like about, like, your healing is only as strong as the healing you do for yourself. So if you're a healer and you still happen to be listening to this, or you're a reader and you follow Duchess's work, like, you know, maybe there's a call for you to maybe look and go in. Like, you know, like, it's seasons to this, you know? So it's like, sometimes we sit things out, but we're not really sitting out, we're restoring. You know, like, there's always, like, that winter season. So, I don't know. I think that was really it. Like, I think that was the big thing. Because I feel like the only other thing that comes up that was related to this topic that I thought of when we were off air was, you know, some people feel like, you know, like, if you're an artist or you're, like, following your dream, like, that's selfish. And I realized, like, it's really not, because if people who are, like, following their dreams and creating their own lives and, like, being an artist, it's actually, they're in a vibration that's higher. Because they're in alignment, and that's actually service to the collective, because when you heal yourself, you are doing your part for the collective. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah, no, I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm like, got a tissue in my nose. I'm listening. I'm listening.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
But that's it. That's it. I just had that all in my heart. So thank you for bringing me on air.
Yes.
So it's like, yeah, that was the only other thing. Like, I just realized that's such a misconception. So if you're somebody who's a creative and you have like these dreams, like, you know, be realistic, be practical. I'm not giving any kind of specific advice.
But be gentle.
Yeah, be gentle. But if what's holding you back is if you think it's selfish, like, nah, it's really not, fam. That's actually a lie. It's actually like really, really, when you fill your cup and your cup's overflowing, that's the kind of healer I would want to be.
Right.
That we should, like a healed healer, not a wounded healer. Which was the old archetype, you know, was wounded healers.
Ooh, that's a whole nother topic of conditioning and layers that we are unlaying. The wounded healers is what shaped a lot of what we are unconditioning by being the healed healers.
Yeah, it's a whole new paradigm shift. So that was it. I think that was the other message that really came through that was related to all of this. It's like, when you follow your dreams and are in alignment, you naturally are serving. Even though it doesn't see it directly in the old traditional way, energetically, you are serving. You are serving because you're doing your part energetically. So that's it. That's all I got. You got anything else?
And I know, you know my ass. I was going to say, and we are the servers. We are here to serve. No, definitely. We are. And it's like I was saying, be gentle with yourself. People need to not feel ashamed of even having to do shadow work. Like, everybody used to think it was such a taboo, shadow work, and even not shadow work, just a vacation, a soul vacation, self-care, things like that. Like, all of those things are things you have to do to be a healed healer.
Yeah. And you know, it's funny. I guess, I really like shadow work because I found it very empowering. So for you to say it's taboo, it's like, wow, I felt that. You're right. There are people who think it's taboo, and that's kind of blowing my mind because I never really thought about that.
Yeah, not a lot of people are not, or you know why? In a sense of they're not going to admit that they still have it. Like, yeah, I did my shadow work. You know, that you're always going to get a teacher that tells you what shadow work is, but they're not telling you that shit is forever. You know, they say it as if they mastered it already, and it's like we always, it's always gonna peer its ugly head. Like, we could, right, and we could be, I was gonna use friends, siblings, you know what I mean? We could be, we could be 50, and I'm pretty sure me and my sister are gonna be going at it. You know what I mean? That's shadow work. I'm not gonna curse anybody else out in the street, but my sister might get it with my 50s. You know what I mean? I may not be centered on a random day when it comes to a sibling the way I would with somebody else. So it would be crazy to think that, you know, a healer is always healed at all times in all parts of their life, because you're always going to get triggered in different ways. I think in one of our past episodes, if you guys would like to go shamelessly plug, listen to our past episodes, but we said, you know, once we have kids, that's going to be another layer of triggers that we didn't even know we had.
Yeah. Thanks.
So that's all shadow work. I correlate triggers, shadow, all of that is one and the same, and it never stops, and nobody is above it. Nobody's above it in this here spirituality.
Yeah, facts. I love it. No, that's real. Yes.
So that was it. We just wanted to fill you guys in on our random tea. We were going to save it, but we were like, nah, once we started talking, it had to be authentic. We had to give the people authenticity.
Yeah, and I like that this is shorter too. I like that, because it's just we don't need to put on or do anything. If the conversation needs to be longer, we'll be longer. We know y'all rock with us. If the conversation doesn't need to be longer, it's short and sweet today. We appreciate you rocking with us. Yo, I don't know who you are listening, but I love you.
Yo, they're listening though, because our views be viewing. Hell yeah.
It's definitely appreciated. We be on here, you know, we be on here.
We be out here just randomly doing random shit. But yeah, so I feel like that's complete. If you feel like that's complete, I love what you just said just now because I feel like that brought it all together beautifully.
Word. And I love that. One more thing that just popped in my head.
Yeah.
Was that I heard a reader say that I was listening to her, and it reminds me of our conversations. Is this one reader, I have to get her name because I just found her today. She was talking and she did an intro and was like, you know, when I channel, I'm channeling and I'm in it. So I don't want you to feel like it's necessarily my opinion. She's like, it's my experiences, it's my opinion. But the way I say it, she was like, just know that I'm being led by spirit to express it that way and to tell you that way. And I really like that. She said that because we channel all the time. And, you know, that'll be another conversation where we get deep and explain to people about channeling, when we've realized we were channeling, when we feel ourselves channeling. Well, that'll be another episode. I can't wait for that. But
let's do that. That sounds good. I'm ready for that.
Right?
Okay.
But, you know, that was a good way of explaining, and it made me think of us and, like, how these conversations go, like, where we're in it and we're out of it. Like, it's definitely our opinion mixed with the things we learned, mixed with the things we're practicing. And a lot of time we are led by a higher power to even have these conversations or stray them in a certain way. So I thought that was dope that she said that.
Oh, I love it. And it's true. And I think I've never heard it said like that, but I love that too because it's like, it's really real and honest, and it's a different type of disclaimer for people who don't understand that. Because I guess like a lot of times when we're channeling, I assume that. I make that, you know, and I forget that other people, you know, are learning and figuring that out and don't know that. So
yeah.
I love that.
I remember there was a week where I was like, I don't know, Sabrina, I think I'm getting too bold with these horoscopes. I'm like telling people what to do. So now looking back at that, you know what I mean? I should have gave more surrender to spirit. That's how spirit wanted to give the message that week.
For to receive it. Yeah, because spirit be coming through. Like, I mean, remember, we have friends who, like, I mean, it just depends on the relationship. So, yeah, I feel like that like, this is even, like, a little bit going into that conversation. But, yeah, we could definitely, like, break that down or find a meme or something that talks about it. And I really like this meme because the meme that we picked for this episode, because, hold on, I'm going to go back to it and see if anything comes up, too. Yeah, it's about empowering your free will. And that's really what it's about. And when you're empowering other people with free will, you're not creating those cords and stuff.
Right.
And, maybe we could do that episode about cords, too, actually, now that we're talking about
it. Yeah, with the cord cutting.
Yeah, remember we said we were going to do something about that? Okay, y'all, now we're just making a list for everybody.
Now we're making topics. Hit us in the comments. Let us know. Inbox me and let us know what you want to talk about next. Any questions you have about channeling.
I love it. Yeah, and we could do the cord one too. Well, thank you for having me, Duchess. Many blessings to you and everybody.
Always. We love it, you guys.